Alright, what is going on, everybody? It's your boy Byrdman. We are going to break down race 2 of NJMP. Skip Barber F4 race, whatever it is. I won the race. Okay, let's get after it. And let's break it down. So, this was actually a video where I got all of the results, so I'm not going to be cut short like race 1 was, unfortunately, for whatever reason. But here I'm starting second place this time. I got Johnny Gindy in front of me, really fast guy. Been racing against him in the series and all the races so far that I've done, and he's won quite a few of them. And he's really fast. He's the 2020 Skip Barber F4 champion. So he knows his way around these cars. He knows his way around these tracks. He actually raced here twice last year. And yeah, I'm going to go ahead and put my laptop down. I was using this to figure out what was going on. And yeah, so we're going to break this down real quick. And I'm going to fast forward just a little bit, because are the lights out? I don't think the lights are out. Yeah, I think it gives us 2 laps. Yep, so he gives us 2 laps. Bada bing, bada boom. Just warm up the tires. Really crucial to warm up your tires well. The best way is not to scrub the wheel back and forth. That does nothing for getting any sort of temperature or pressure in your tires. What you want to do is accelerate and then brake, and then the heating up of the brakes heats up the tire from the inside out, essentially. So, or you want to have long, prolonged G-forces on the tires. So, I did some of that in the carousel, the long right-hander turn 10, whatever it's called, and I did a lot of that braking and accelerating. So now we're side by side. So I'm starting off pole, second place. Got the whole fill behind me. All rest of the 8 cars behind us. And let's see what we can do. Always, the rule is a good start is when you can keep your starting position. That's a good start. A great start is when you can take a position or 2, and a bad start is when you lose a position. But a good start is where you just hold your position. So that's really what I was aiming for. I wasn't aiming for any sort of flashing move. Not trying to be a hero on the first lap. First turn, you know how that all happens. In order to finish a race, you must first finish. Or in order to finish first, you must first finish. So waiting for the green flag. Get a nice little jump on Mr. Johnny Gindy. We can rewind that real quick. Just waiting for that green flag in the distance. Second he starts waving it, boom, on the gas, punching it, getting after it. And I pinched Johnny down just a little bit, but as you can see, I take the lead in turn 1. I just try to brake later than him. I'm a half a car length in front of him. I give him room. I give him a whole car's worth of room, but in order to, he has to slow down a little bit in order to take it. So I'm currently in the lead at this point, ladies and gentlemen. And there's a beaver on the track. Did you guys see that? Absolutely insane. I had to take evasive maneuvers. The most evasive maneuvers I've ever done in my life. You see that? Somebody like freeze frame and screenshot that right there. Sheesh. I had to be completely off of the line in order to avoid him. He almost actually... Like, I am setting up for this corner, boom, holding to the right. I'm getting ready to turn, and my hands are already turning. If I kept on going, I would have ran that thing over. But I see it, and I correct right there. And luckily, nobody, if you can see it in the mirror there for a second, but nobody hit the beaver. It was completely okay. No animals were harmed in the production and making of this video. And yeah, we get on with our lives, but boom, turn 5. Get a little crossed up on the exit there. Not exactly what you wanna do when you're trying to race for your race win. Johnny Guinea goes to my inside right there. He pops to the outside. You can see his tire right there. He pops out as soon as he can. I wasn't necessarily ready for it, but I also wasn't really going to fight it because I knew it wasn't going to be worth it. I knew he had the run on me because I messed up the corner. So my best plan, my best play right there is to probably just let him by and then try to just run away from everyone else. Let him by because I know he's slightly faster. At least that's what race 1 was sort of indicating to me in the qualifying. I tried keeping the position against him, but he sort of maybe ran me off the track a little bit. I want to look at that again. He did not leave me a full car's width of room on the exit, but he also doesn't necessarily expect. And you can see there's a guy making a move on my outside, but of course nobody ever passes me in the carousel. That's just not going to happen, buddy. So he is forced to back down and out of that fight. But yeah, now I'm back to second place as the race begun. But had a little bit of a taste of first place, and I knew I wasn't going to let that go very easily. So let's see if you guys remember race 1. Same track, except maybe this time I'm a little bit faster, maybe a little bit more competitive. Maybe I learned from my mistakes, trying to carry a bit more speed into the corners. Try to spruce up my line a little bit since we've had some time to think about it. And so far, not so good, because I don't think I'm really improving on my line quite yet. At least not in a substantial way. I'm getting pulled away from slowly but surely by Johnny. I think I overslowed that corner a little bit since I was probably a little bit too early to the throttle, but whatever. I'm at this point, and also going into this race, in my head, my tires are better than Johnny's because he's been running really, really hard for every single session. The day before, this day, and check my mirror just to make sure no one's there. Just gotta always check and be aware. Okay, at this point, no one's immediately pressuring me from behind, so it's all about keeping as close to Johnny as possible, not letting him get away from me. Obviously, I'm doing a terrible job as we speak because he is slowly pulling away from me, whether it's a few hundredths per lap, but those hundredths add up into tenths, and those tenths add up into seconds. So that was a better corner out of me, and I think that one of my major improvements in this race was actually turn 5, where I wasn't carrying as much speed over the crest of the hill, and I was overslowing it a little bit. So we're making some improvements, we're making plays, but he is still kind of pulling away from me, and this will be a trend, as you can see, going into the next few laps. But yeah, I got a taste of first place, and I did not want to give that up very easily. So that's what happens. Not as much curb that time. Unsettled the car a little less. Not as much curb on the inside, I should say. And I could probably carry a bit more speed over that turn 4 curb. But I'm definitely thinking I'm doing a little bit better in turn 5. I'm trying to brake less. I think the thing I was doing was braking too hard. Braking a little too much. And here I'm not getting much action on the steering wheel, which lets me know that either I'm right on the limit just perfectly, which is not too common of an occurrence for me, or I'm slightly under the limit, and that's probably what is the more likely there, is I was slightly under the limit, not getting any sort of correction. That's letting me know, hey, you're on the limit, buddy. Better do that again and again, or just go right below that and save your tires and make sure you don't scrub your tires. We don't need to hear the car that loud. So yeah, trying to carry as much speed into that as possible, downshift to 4th, back onto the throttle as hard as possible, use up all the track, get over to the left. I can tell I'm carrying more speed because I'm running out of track on the exit a lot quicker, and I'm a little bit later to the throttle, which means I'm carrying more speed to the corner. That time was better. I'm running harder through that turn 7 complex, carried a bit more entry speed, got a little bit of a wiggle on the steering wheel, and used up all of the track possible on the exit. But as you can see, Johnny's still pulling away from me. He's still carrying just a little bit more speed in these different corners that I'm not exactly taking all the way to the limit of the car's capabilities. So at this point, I'm just concerned about running as hard and clean as I possibly can in terms of consistency and not making major mistakes, and while trying to stay and hold my second place position. At this point in my head, yes, I want the win, but I also want to hold second place and if at the very least finish on the podium. So those are my main goals. I know it would be a good result. There's Johnny locking up his brakes, but as you can see, I never lock up my brakes, which is one of two things. It's either good because I'm perfectly on the limit, I'm just getting everything I can out of the brake zone every single time because I'm the best driver in the world, or two, bad because I'm obviously not testing the limits of the car's braking and pushing it to see where the limits are. And if you don't know where the limits are, you're not going to drive to them, or you're not going to drive just below them. So probably the latter. I'm going to lean towards the latter. I think that's what was happening going on there, but it is very hard to make these cars unsettled via braking. I had to slow down mega right there. What kind of corner was that, Byrdman? What are you doing? Let's rewind on that one. Let's take some lessons from this. Okay, pal. So okay, decent turn in, but I'm turning in way too early. And I didn't hold to the outside as long as I should have. So look at this. What am I doing? I'm literally driving into the grass right now. And I got pushed out a little bit, luckily enough, but I'm driving over nothing. My left tires are on nothing. I don't have any traction. I don't have the angle. And I'm on the gas hard at this point. Look where I'm going. I had to mega save in order to avoid getting all these two tires off, and I just lost all that speed going over that crest and before it. So good job, Byrdman, on being bad at your job, but we learned from that and we know now not to turn in so early. And obviously I think I'm probably babying the car just a little bit just to make sure, because the second you get into the dirt a little bit, that's technically you should be pitting after that, but unless if I'm getting shown the black flag, I'm not going to pit after that. I'm in second place right now. Hello? But anyways, we want to drive and make sure that the car's good and that the tires aren't too dirty, because if I go in the dirt there and I go off because I'm driving the car like acting like it's going to be the same, then that's just stupid, because I know I went off, the car's tires could be dirty and I could have less grip than before. So I have to be prepared for that and drive a little bit under the limit just to make sure everything's good. You can see in my mirror my arch nemesis Joshua Olionel. He's also racing in the series every single weekend I am. He's been podiuming? He's been getting podiums along with Johnny when I haven't been getting podiums. That was earlier in the season. He has less experience than me, but he also is just really talented, so he's fast. And wide of the apex again. What am I doing? How am I supposed to expect to stay in front of him if I'm making those kinds of mistakes? But either ways, that's Joshua. He's my arch nemesis because him and I are essentially very similar in speed, I would say. But I feel like I've been getting the upper hand on him, the edge on him, these past couple of race weekends, or race weeks, whatever you want to call it. This was actually during the middle of the week. I actually had a race at Oswego Speedway last Saturday, and running over that curve as if it's not hurting my balance of the car or anything like that. Apparently I don't learn my lesson. But Yeah, so arch nemesis Joshua Lionel, he's closing down on me. He's right there in my mirrors. He's a mad lad. Look at that. He's crazy. What is he doing? Trying to beat me? Hello? Who wants to beat people in a race? That's just mean. Just kidding. Just kidding. But you can see I had something to be concerned about. Johnny, he's pulling away from me. Joshua, he's right on my tail. He's hot on my heels. And at this point, I'm pressured not to make a single mistake. I need to drive as perfect as possible. He's slowly closing down on me. And I know if I don't drive perfect and try to even drive a little bit faster than him even, then I'm going to get drafted on and he's going to try and pass me, or we're going to be battling and he's going to hold us both up. Our battle is going to bring the people behind us closer and we're going to be further and further away from Johnny. At this point, the deal is sort of sealed for Johnny. Unless he makes a massive mistake, the deal's sort of sealed. So at this point, I'm concerned about Joshua. I don't want to get past, but I also want to move forward if I can. So gotta run hard, gotta run perfect laps. And I think this was the impetus that I needed, because I've noticed where he was catching up to me. It was turn 5 and it was turn 7. So I know I needed to carry more and more speed, which I think I started to do. I think I started adjusting. I was seeing what was happening behind me, and I saw where he was gaining on me and where I was potentially gaining on him. And look, every single time it was in the brakes under turn 7 where he's like right behind me. And obviously it's a bit more compressed and you're slower, so it looks like you're closer than he actually is, but it was fairly consistent where it seemed like he was gaining on me every single time he exited turn 7. So in my mind, he's beating me under the brakes, because that's the only thing. Johnny's out here locking up his brakes. Joshua's gaining on me under the brakes, which tells me that I'm probably losing it under the braking zone, and I'm not braking late enough or hard enough. So that's a little bit of adjustment that I need to make. I think Joshua's still behind me at this point. Yep, there he is. Good old Joshua, arch nemesis, my Skip Barber F4 series rival. But it looks like I'm driving fairly well. I'm driving hard. I'm driving aggressive. Trying to brake less and less. And that was a really good corner. Decent corner out of me. Let's see where he is. He's probably still hot on my heels. But it might be this lap where things go a little bit downhill for Mr. Lionel. Nope, a little bit wide of the apex, but it looks to be good. But I'm just trying to run as hard as possible, not give any sort of opening to Joshua. And at this point, I'm sort of, before he was actually closing down the gap to me. He was closing down the gap, and I think I actually started driving better when I noticed where he was gaining on me. I was like, oh, you're gaining on me in turn 5, I guess you can take it faster. Okay, I'll take it faster. And I did, and I think I was actually gaining a little bit. I think he was actually gaining on me in turn 1. Turns 1, turn 5, and turn 7 I think were my losing points, and I think I actually started increasing the gap just a little bit over these last couple of laps. I was maintaining or increasing the gap, and that's exactly what I needed to do in order to protect my second place finish, because Johnny's pulling away. He's still pulling away. I might be lessening the gap to Johnny, but you can see there's a car in front of Johnny now, and it's actually a lapped car, the same lap car that we had in race 1, but you can see how he's right behind the lapped car. And he gets by him on the exit, easy peasy. I assume Johnny didn't lose that much time on his lap, but unfortunately that was not the case with me. What happened with me was, what we saw in the data afterwards was, or the lap times I should say, was Johnny only lost a second trying to pass the lap car. I ended up losing 2 seconds, which was just not very good. So look at that, I had to way over slow. You can see what happened here. And is Johnny behind me? I mean Joshua? I don't think Joshua's behind me, but let me rewind a little bit, because I might be able to notice something I never saw in the race. So where is Joshua? Good old Joshua. So So Joshua's right behind me, boom. And he actually goes off the track. So I didn't see this in my mirrors. All I knew is that when I exited the corner, you can see maybe in my right side mirror. See, look, I was looking in my left mirror. I was looking to see where he was and how I was just gauging the distance yet again. And just to see, hey, did I gain on him that turn 7 or did I lose on him? And I look in my mirror, he's not there. I'm like, oh, well, that's interesting because I just saw him behind me in my mirror is exiting turn 5, so something must have happened. Part of me was sort of relieved because, hey, I don't have to worry about Joshua anymore, and he's not behind me, so now we can just focus on Johnny. Maybe he's going to get held up by his car in front of him, and okay, well, apparently that's not going to be the case, so whatever. But, yeah, so that happened. Joshua said he was experiencing brake fade and that his brakes weren't working, so when he went to brake for turn 7, he was unable to slow the car down the way he needed to in order to make the turn. And he, for whatever reason, he wasn't able to get the car back on track, whether it was his tentativeness and unwillingness to do it because he thought he didn't have any brakes or whatever it was. But he ended up, like, look at this. I'm so checked up by this car. I had to slow down way more than I ever have. I'm not going to make a mistake and try and pass him in turn 5 since that's a very tricky passing zone. But I knew I could get the cross under because he went narrow on the entry. I went wide on the entry, which means I can get the cross under. Boom. Exit of 5. I'm on his inside. Easy peasy lemon squeezy. Got by him. He was being predictable, which I greatly appreciated, and I was able to get past him. But yeah, now you can see there's Joshua. He's backwards. I can't tell if he's backwards or forwards, like front facing or backwards facing, but either way he's in the grass and there's no yellow flag out because I think they assume he can get himself out of the grass. Ended up not being the case, but yeah, I lost 2 seconds trying to pass the 16 car versus Johnny, who only lost 1 second, so that was unfortunate. It's just an unfortunate timing where, I mean, if I was more aggressive, if I didn't care about, if I was, say, in 7th place, I might be a little bit more aggressive in trying to get by him as quickly as possible, not losing as much time as possible. But since I know, hey, no one's behind me, pressuring behind, Johnny is well ahead of me at this point. Something like 15 seconds or whatever the case might be. Probably more like 7 seconds. But it's not worth the risk of trying to pass him in an unorthodox area rather than the easy passes, which is like turn 7, turn 1, the front straight, and all that. Like if I try passing him in this corner, this is what I tried doing in practice, and I ended up making contact with a 12 car when I easily could have just avoided it by using my brain, using my big boy noggin. And yeah, so that's what happened there. Here you see Joshua still in the grass, unable to make any moves. At this point I would be out of the grass and be rolling into the pits, and you can see there's the yellow on the left hand side. Here's another yellow. They just brought out the yellow right there, so they're bringing out the yellows, letting us know, hey, can't pass in this zone. No yellow out there right now as we speak, so it's just a local yellow. So I'm going full bore still. What's the point of slowing down? And I see double yellow right there. So double yellow in the front straight, which means we are going under full course caution. Here's Johnny in front of me. Pace car picks us up, and we go from there. So 10-second little thing per use with my camera. I'm going to fast forward some, so we're just under full course yellow, yada yada. I think I turned off my camera because I was just waiting until things got back up again, because it was quite a few laps until Joshua got towed out of the race and back into the pits, and we were all ready, and now the pace car lights are out, which means we're coming to the green flag. And you'll see what happens here. Very interesting. I look for the green flag. Boom. It's waving, bro. It's waving. Johnny, what are you doing, man? You're sleeping at the wheel. But I get the jump on him. He said he was, I'll actually rewind it just a little bit. He said he was distracted by the pace car going into the pits. And I'm over here tucked out. I can actually see underneath his wing. So I'm tucked out. He's looking at the pace car, sleeping at the wheel. And I see the green flag waving. So boom, I'm popped out. I'm on it. pop out to the outside. At this point, I'm completely past him. Right now, I'm completely past him. And now I have turn 1 all by myself. I notice it, which is why I took all the room. And at this point, boom, I'm in the lead right now, baby. On the final restart of the race. And I don't think I can see anything that happens behind me. But you can see my wheel 1, 2, 3. And then something happening out 4. I guess those are just people in 4. And John is right behind me. He's hunting for the win, bro. He knows he only has a few laps left, a couple laps left if it doesn't go yellow again. So I'm racing hard. I'm going as hard as I can. 4th place. Boom. Hard. Get the run. Brake as little as possible for turn 5. Boom. What is this? Another double yellow. What is happening here? I don't even, for a second, in my mind, I'm not even caring about that. I see Johnny right behind me. I'm making sure I secure the win. I get the run out. I think Johnny lets up at that point, seeing the yellow, another double yellow. So boom, I know we're under full course caution. You're supposed to slow down, but I know nobody's in front of me. So I'm just making sure that I'm not going to get caught sleeping like Johnny was. And I'm giving him a little thumbs up. Hey, I know what's up. I know it's a full course caution, but I'm at least going to come to the flag, and I'm going to wait until I see the pace car pull out and pick me up, because I want to make sure I finish this race in the lead. And that's exactly what happens. You can see the pace car, I think somewhere over here, pulls out. Yeah, you can see the pace car right there. He's pulling out. I know we're going under yellow for sure, because the pace car is coming to pick up the leader. At this point, I'm the leader. Let's get after it. Let's go, baby. I'm the leader. I get picked up, and we go around, and for whatever reason, I actually decided to turn off my camera, because I was like, oh, we're just gonna come to another restart. So Johnny's right behind me. We're gonna come to another restart. Bada bing, bada boom. We'll get the show on the road. So it turns out there was actually an incident in turn 1 behind me. There was contact made of some kind. People went off, and then they full course caution the track again. So I decide to, I think when I realized we're not going green, I just turned it off, like, hey, whatever. But it was right then when I actually passed the start finish line with the checkered flag. So I don't actually get the footage of me passing it in first place, getting the checkered flag. But you can see I'm talking like a robot. Yeah, nobody knows what you're saying, Birdman. Nobody knows what you're saying. Shut up. Okay, now you can hear him because you're not on the gas. But basically, I was just explaining what was going on. That I passed a checkered flag and all that. So, I already passed the checkered flag. We're going into the pits. I'll just show you the brief reactions from everybody. Pull around. Bada bing, bada boom. I finished the race in first. Let's go. Get the car in neutral. There we go. Little helmet slap on my dad. Way to be heads up on the restart. Boom. That was actually, I had no idea who that was that I shook hands with. That was actually Eric Powell. He won a third place and a first place on the TC America at Road America this past weekend, or the last weekend. And so guys congratulating me. Bada bing, bada boom.
Okay, that's good.
Yeah, I didn't know if I won for sure. Carter Fartuck. And I almost went for the dab.
Yeah, 2 good restarts, or 2 good starts. I was like, why is it going back yellow?
Here's Johnny.
Good job, Johnny. Good racing, bro.
Yeah, good one.
I didn't race him much, but I raced him a couple times. And there's Bobby Krug. He got 3rd place. And that was the end of the video right there. But yeah, so quick little reaction. But yeah, that was the immediate reaction afterwards. I didn't know if I won for sure. Just want to make sure, did I win? Didn't I win? Okay, that's a reference you're not going to understand. But yeah, so race 1, podium to 3rd. Race 2, 2nd place. Get pulled away from. Johnny had me covered, as my dad said, as my dad agreed with me. But yeah, managed to pull out the victory on that final restart. I guess I have to thank Joshua for pulling out the caution. Otherwise, who knows what would have happened? I probably would have just finished 2nd. But yeah, I mean, it was a very competitive race at the end there. Everyone was running very similar times to each other. Me, Johnny, Bobby, Jimmy. Everyone was running very similar times. And like the top 5 guys were all within like half a second of each other in terms of fastest times. So it's pretty awesome. And I was able to get that quick little podium finish. I'll just boom, 3rd place, 1st place. Got that Jocko fuel in the middle. Let's get sponsored, boys. But yeah, little video. This is actually from race 2 where Joshua was right behind me. You can see how close he was. And here's just a 3rd person perspective of that. Hard brake for turn 7, left-hander. Bada bing, bada boom. Instagram cuts off the width of the video, unfortunately, but yeah, it was a pretty awesome time. Here's my superhero looking off in the distance photo. But yeah, so that was my race 2 breakdown. Hope you guys enjoyed it. If you did, like, subscribe, comment what your favorite moment was. If you want to see more of these breakdowns in the future. And yeah, it's been your boy Byrdman, and I'll talk to you guys later.